On this week's SheerLuxe podcast, Lou, Vanessa and I discuss a controversial fashion trend that has divided the office.
I would absolutely wear pants.
Would you?
Yeah.
But it's like wearing a swimsuit with knickers.
Oh, no, but it's not a swimsuit.
We also talk about Matthieu Blazy's departure from Bottega Veneta to Chanel.
That's what it needs, like a little bit
Do
of
you?
something. I don't know.
And why on earth Robbie Williams is depicted as a monkey in his new upcoming biopic.
But like, he's a monkey. But everyone else is real people.
It's
So,
confusing.
Exactly.
I
That's
think
the reaction.
we also answer some more of your very juicy dilemmas. So stay tuned. It's a really good one. Welcome to the last SheerLuxe podcast of the year. I'm your host, Polly Sayer, and today I'm joined by Lou Hough and Vanessa Menrad. Hi, ladies.
Hi, I can't believe this is the last one of the year, feeling the pressure to bring the sparkle and joy.
Well, I hope you do, girls. But before we dive in, please just take a moment. I'm gonna ask you to subscribe to our channel for weekly updates. It truly helps us out. But let's get started. So, as we said, final week of the year.
I'm not going to lie, I'm hanging by a thread.
I know, I'm like, it's time.
Yeah, I have had a cold for about a week. I just told you guys, I don't think I've had more than 5 hours sleep for like a good 3 months. I'm so ready for a proper break.
Well, we were just saying though that you look remarkably fresh for someone who
I
has
just
had 5
don't
hours
know
sleep.
how that's possibly true.
No, but it
I
is.
No, it is.
Oh well,
What's the secret?
I did a one-on-one skin face mask this morning.
Okay.
Which they are like the dream of face masks. And I've also been swearing by the Road Barrier Butter and just putting that, it's like a tiny bit just like around my nose and everywhere that is being wiped by tissues multiple times a day. So I really appreciate the positive feedback.
you look great,
you guys.
babe. If I look
I
like
don't
that.
feel great in any sense of the word. So thank you.
Also, your voice sounds quite sexy.
Oh,
Yeah, a little bit of rasp in there.
Okay, I'll do a little cameo for you later, me.
Please. I wait it.
How was the Christmas party? I was off last week, so I missed it, and I want to hear all the goss.
It was great, wasn't it?
It was very good. Yeah, it was very funny. We had a moment where there was we were all in a big circle, and then there were like dance solos in the middle.
Oh, that was really wholesome, actually.
It was
wasn't
really
it?
cute.
Who
like,
did the best?
I mean, I
Who was
think
playing
everyone was
moves?
kind of like was on par.
But when Jemima and Imi came in the middle, because obviously they had organised it all, everyone was like cheering like crazy, and it was the most wholesome moment. It was too. What's the song? The one
Fairy Tale of New York.
Oh, I
it?
love that.
And
Do you know it's one of my life's aims to be part of or watch a flash mob? Doesn't sound like it was quite that, but like I'm hoping that one time
we
see
can
that.
make this happen.
I've
make
mentioned
that
it
for you.
multiple times to Daisy and Charlotte, and I've been like, no, it's
Bring
not
the
cool.
flash mob. Yes,
I feel like flash mobs are quite off their time.
I
aren't
know,
they?
it's like
they
very-
were really like everywhere for about 3 years, and now
Yeah.
you just don't see quite so many of them. Just
Also,
a shame.
they were always quite cringe, but in a fun way.
Oh, I love
Do you
it.
know what I
Just think
mean?
they're
It's like
cringe.
everyone.
They bring a little, I don't know, warmth to my heart and a tear to my eye.
Let's do
Yeah.
it.
What about the outfits? What did you guys wear?
I wore a little dress from Anthropology.
You looked banging.
Yeah.
Babe.
Yeah,
I,
really.
Like it was like a little mini dress with long sleeves, and then it had this kind of big flower corsage thing here. I felt like quite brave to wear a mini dress out. It's one of those things I've had in my wardrobe for like a year, but I've been too like, oh no, I'll just wear trousers and like a nice top. But like, I don't know, there aren't that many occasions where you can wear like a mini dress and heels.
That
and not feel
surprises me
too
because I feel
over.
like you're quite like, fuck it, I'll wear it.
Yeah.
I usually am, yeah. But I don't know, something about like a mini dress. I'm like, oh, I hate the idea of being too overdressed. But everyone that SheerLuxe Christmas party does kind of, they go all out,
Yeah.
don't they,
Yeah.
with dressing up. So I,
I mean,
didn't feel like I'd be over the top.
I was quite worried. I was a bit too revealing.
No,
but
you
I was
looked
like, it was fine.
great.
It was fine in the end.
And talk us through what you wore.
I wore a naked dress. It's like a
Oh, was this the
slit.
crossover
Yeah,
one?
the crossover
So
slit.
amazing,
sexy.
amazing.
Pure sparkles. I bought one of the Charlotte Simone coats.
Oh,
very naughty,
amazing.
but I did, and I wore that on top.
I think they're so useful. Like they feel like, oh gosh, what an indulgence to buy like a fluffy coat. But they are so helpful when you want to go out and you want the coat to be part of the outfit.
Yeah.
Like I love mine.
I know. I
Also,
love
when
the
you're-
enablement as well. It's like,
Yeah,
this
you
was the
deserve that.
right choice.
Yeah.
When you are wearing something really fun underneath and then you just put like your coat on that you wear
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
time to the office, it's a bit like, right, let's
Yeah.
like pepper this
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
So having a
Exactly.
fun party coat, I think is
Yeah,
a joy.
it's just, you just immediately feel like, here I am.
fun.
I don't know, I just want to shake my shoulders every time I put it on.
Yeah,
all
I
the, like,
know.
fluff. But yeah, it was just like, it felt very wholesome.
Well, Lou, we missed you.
Thanks,
Hopefully
thanks.
next year we'll recreate a photo.
Yeah.
Before we start, let's talk about our outfits. Lou, what are you wearing?
I'm wearing some incredibly comfy loafers.
I've been eyeing them up.
From Dear Francis.
Gorgeous.
They look quite stiff, but they are so cushioned
Really?
and comfortable. Yeah, I'm really enjoying them. Socks, I have no idea. Jeans are Citizens of Humanity, Anina. I absolutely ride or dies. Jumper is Kiltane, which is so soft. And earrings are Massimo, belt is Kate.
Lovely. Vanessa?
H&M boots. Dream Sister Jane old skirt. Urban Outfitters top.
You were wearing a red bow in your hair as well.
Oh yes, the red bow is H&M.
Do a
It's
little
H&M.
spin so the camera can
like-
see. Very cute.
How adorable.
It's Christmassy. I was like, I need to wear something festive. A little bit of festive.
Yeah.
And then I'm pretty sure the earrings are J. Crew.
Well, I'm wearing a jumper from Reformation, which is so flippin' soft. I can like.
Oh, is that the cashmere one?
Yeah.
Delish.
Like
Wait,
barely
can I
taken
touch
it
it?
off. It's very, very soft, and the sleeves are like really pleasantly long.
Love
I
that.
mean, love that. My t-shirt is a brand called Sunray, who do very good white t-shirts. Jeans are from And Other Stories. Belt is from Eero. Loafers, Prada. And I actually know where my socks are. They're from Marquette.
What's the
And what about those earrings?
My earrings are from my Days to London capsule.
Oh my God.
These earrings have done very well.
The new collection is just phenomenal.
Thanks, babe.
Like, it's
really
so
nice.
good.
Thank you. That
It's got,
means a
like-
lot from you.
It's really got just like everything that you need from a festive
festive earring. Well,
earring
you wore
world.
some earrings of mine to the Fashion
Fashion
Awards,
Awards.
which I was like,
Aw.
Yeah.
That
And they
made
were the
them laugh.
perfect earring for it.
let's kick off with some new and noteworthy, shall we? Lou, you were away from the Christmas party because you were away somewhere else.
Yes. So it was my daughter's second birthday, and
Good.
we went down to Cornwall to stay at a place called Atlanta Travone, and it's the third time we've stayed there, and it's basically a group of luxury kind of apartments right on the beach. Like, you couldn't be more on the beach if you tried.
Wow.
And their house is kind of like on the cliffs. Right opposite you is a kind of a rocky beach with like the most beautiful landscape. Like, every time I just see the waves and the landscape there, I just think of a painting. Like, the colors are insane. And then to the right of the house is a sandy beach, and it's just the most beautiful, tranquil place I've ever been. I love, unpopular opinion, I prefer a UK beach in winter
Do you?
than in the summer. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like often empty.
Yeah.
I feel like there's no pressure that, oh, what are we going to do if it rains and we're going to the beach? Like, it's kind of like, it's an
Yeah.
added bonus if it's a good weather.
Yeah.
And I just think you can get cozy and you
Isn't
can
it?
hear the sea, and the beaches are empty, and
Yeah.
the cliff walks are amazing.
Yeah.
So Atlanta I think they've been around for like 3 years now, and the interiors are beautiful. Everything you would hope for from a kind of luxury cottage by the sea.
Yeah.
They've got a new one which Ham Interiors have done all the interiors for,
Cool.
and they're just about to open a new one in Padstow, which we went to go and have a sneak peek of, and it is beautiful.
Stunning.
So if you are looking for a wholesome staycation,
Yeah.
it's just perfect.
Like, my heart rate slowed down just from listening to
Yeah.
you describing the.
It was so
Landscape.
amazing. So this time we stayed in the penthouse, and we had the most amazing view of the sea. There was a really cute little like playroom with bunk beds,
Oh, that's
with
cool.
like 2 big baskets full of wooden toys. So every morning she'd wake up and she'd say, play with toys, and she'd get her like her cereal out from there and like the fruit and things like that. And it was just really sweet, wholesome, like playing hide and seek. We gave her a scooter for her birthday.
Oh, cute.
And so she was just scootering around the kitchen,
Just loving it.
loving it. It was just really lovely. We just did
Yeah.
like walks along the coast. We got the ferry from Padstow over to Rock, and went to a restaurant called Four Boys, which I think Hodge has recommended before, which was incredible.
Yeah.
There's really good foodie bits around there.
Yeah, there is, isn't there?
And you can just like watch films, stay cozy.
Cozy.
Loved it. Really, really loved it. So go
Cool.
check it out.
Very
Atlanta
nice.
Travone.
Very nice. Vanessa, anything rocking your world at the moment?
Well, funny you ask.
I phrased it like that because I know what you're going to say.
I feel like this is going to save a lot of people's lives here, right? So you're welcome. We had our friends, well, I call it family Christmas, like, because I see them just as much as family. But like, we had our like Christmas day yesterday, which is fun for me because I get a British Christmas and then I get my like European Christmas afterwards.
Nice.
How different are they?
They're, I'd say, quite different. Like,
Really?
I mean, I celebrate on the 24th in the evening, and I also
Right.
like, we have different food. Like, we wouldn't have a roast like you would here, and I love the roast here.
What would you have?
We personally, as a family, we have goose, bread dumplings, red cabbage with apple, and then it's like a gravy.
Okay.
Nice.
So it's similar-ish, but like a different energy. And also because we do it in the evening, then you do presents after dinner, and then you wake up on the 25th, and it's a bit of a different day. Usually you see either other relatives or like, you know.
I like that. I remember we went skiing once and we had our like Christmas meal on the 24th in France, and that just felt like a nice way to do it.
Yeah, it's a really like, because I feel like here people just like to go to the pub, which is also fun. I also like that. But yeah, I do like the coziness of the 24th back home. But yeah, so we had our Christmas day yesterday, and we cooked, and because we're a bunch of vegetarians, we bought this thing from Sainsbury's. It's called a no turkey crown, I'm pretty sure, and it literally comes in its own tray. You just put it in the oven for 45 minutes, and it was so delicious.
And
so,
what is it?
Like a meat alternative.
Like a corn?
Yeah,
Okay.
essentially. I haven't checked if it must be pea or soy based,
right?
But I'm not sure which one. And then it has like a stuffing in the middle, and on top it has the fake bacon on top to like have a bit of like a crispiness, and there was a sauce with it as well, so I basted it every 20 minutes. But yeah, I was thinking, I feel like there's a lot of families out there that have like that one child that's vegetarian, or like the one, I know I'm that child. That's why I'm like, so go to Sainsbury's and get that one, because you literally just, and it's also not that big, so you can just pop it in the side of the oven, like, and it just does its thing. It's really sad as a vegetarian when you have Christmas dinner and there isn't an alternative for the meat, and you just have to eat the vegetables.
Yeah, is that what happens? You usually just get a bunch of veggies?
I like that, because I feel like there's so much in a roast dinner.
That's true.
There are all the trimmings and everything that goes around it, and then you have the pudding and everything. That I feel like quite lucky that I don't get that big bit.
See, I get FOMO.
It's
not about, I have enough on my plate. Like, it would be absolutely fine. But I'm like, but I want to have a thing.
Yeah,
like,
you want to have
I don't know, and that was like, to me, that was like...
And this is like something that makes you not miss having goose or turkey or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you have a bit of a replacement. I mean, in general, I have to say Sainsbury's like vegan range for Christmas is
very good.
Great. They have pigs and blankets as well, vegan ones, which I was like, that's nice.
I'm normally a bit funny about the like alternative, the kind of fake alternatives. But I had some new Linda McCartney red onion and rosemary sausages.
Now these bad boys are like, they are the shit.
Even my husband was like, oh my God, these are really good.
When I first went vegan, like they were like my holy grail.
Yeah.
I ate them so much, and I would cut them up, put them on a sandwich with some butter.
Yes.
And honestly,
oh my God. In my meat days, a sausage pita with ketchup was like the go-to before a night out.
Yeah.
And so like
in the stomach.
Yeah, exactly. So now like a veggie sausage pita. Delish.
Yeah.
So good.
They're my only exceptions to the rule, but I wouldn't have fake bacon.
Yeah.
Like you don't miss the texture of bacon.
No, I just find it a bit strange. And also there's a little bit in my brain that's like, is it fake? Like, how do I know?
Oh, I see. You want it? Okay.
Like those vegan eggs that you and Harry had.
Oh my God, yeah, let me tell you the story. So I stayed at a hotel recently with my partner, Harry, and in the morning we went down for breakfast, and there was a vegan breakfast on the menu. My partner is not vegan, but like quite often like prefers having them like meat alternatives and stuff. So he ordered that, and it said on the menu it was like vegan eggs, and we were like, oh, fascinating. Is it going to be like scrambled tofu or something? Anyway, it arrived and it came with 2 fried eggs, which I was like, wow, these look really convincing for vegan eggs. Like they even had the kind of like slightly white film on top that like normal eggs have, and I was like, geez, man, they're incredible. Like we split the yolk, it was like pouring out, and I was like, I'm amazed. And like to the point where Harry was like to the waiter, like, are these definitely vegan? And the waiter went, I mean, it's the vegan breakfast, so yeah, they should be vegan. I was like, oh no, that's not what I was asking. And like the more we kind of dug into it, he was like, these are eggs. These are actual eggs.
The more I went to it, they started quacking.
It
was too good
like,
to
thank God, like he's not actually vegan, because Imagine, like, just
But there is a lot of people misunderstand what it means. Like, it happens a lot. Also, like, I've had a friend told me the other day that she was like, they had their Christmas dinner and apparently they had a veggie pasta and a meat pasta, and the way to put like the pastas down being like, this is the meat, this is the veggie, and she like, you know, poured herself some veggie pasta and there was also a meatball underneath, and she was like, oh, nice veggie meatballs. Then her colleague tried it first and she was like, so what they had done for the veggie pasta is they'd just taken the pasta from the meatball pasta and just like removed the
No,
I've had that.
I just don't understand. Like, that's not okay.
I've had that when I've gone round to friends' houses and like they've like served a curry and then just
picked the chicken out.
Yeah, it's like,
and you're like, oh, I hate to be that person.
Yeah, but it's. I think some people just don't understand. My gran never understood. She was always like, she would make goulash and be like, oh, you can just like, you know, take the sauce. And I'm like, there's meat all over this thing.
Yeah.
It's so annoying. Like, you feel like such a hindrance. Like,
and no one likes to be difficult.
No, and
God, like,
and honestly, there was a time where I'd be like, I would just dread going to people's houses because it would be like a situation like this, and you're like, it's fine. I'll have like bread and potatoes. It's not fun.
No, but yeah. Sainsbury's.
Anyway, saves the day.
For special occasion, I agree with you. Like, I'm not huge on the processed like fake meats, but like for Christmas Day, if you're in need,
and sometimes you like that tradition of just feeling like you're having the same as everyone.
Well, I have a couple of things to recommend. One's a book and one's an episode of a TV show.
Ooh.
I'm feeling quite, I don't know, Christmas time does something to me. It makes me quite mushy and quite emotional. So anything that's got a bit of like romance or just like something a bit like with the feels, like I'm just like, oh yeah, like lap it up. The book is called You Are Here by David Nichols, who wrote
I love David
One Day. I actually haven't read One Day, which is weird. Maybe I should do that.
No, I've never read it.
Well,
wait, have you seen it now?
I've seen it, yeah, which obviously really enjoyed it.
Wrong way round. You could read Man and Boy, which is phenomenal.
Okay.
Phenomenal.
Does it get you in the feels?
Yeah, it's really hearty.
Okay. So I feel like he's just quite good at things that get you in the feels. So You Are Here is about two people who are kind of middle-aged, I would say. They're both divorced and they meet through a mutual friend because they're doing the coast-to-coast walk in the north of England. And it's a kind of unlikely love story. I'm about halfway through and it's just really heartwarming. It's like, again, I don't know, the themes are sort of like loneliness, human connection.
Yeah, love.
And I don't know, it's quite an easy read. You know, I think sometimes I'm up for something a bit deep and like, you know, a bit like, oh God, that's a lot. But this just like warms my cockles every time.
That is what I want.
Yeah, like it's my train journey. I can just be like, oh yeah, these guys are so good. So if you're looking for something easy read, if you liked One Day, David Nichols generally, I would recommend that. And then the second thing, I've been really binging the latest series of RuPaul's Drag Race UK. I like finished it at the weekend. Have you watched it?
No, I'm usually obsessed. I'm obsessed with all RuPaul's Drag Race, but I haven't watched this season. But like,
season.
Yeah, it's another one that's really like it's just joyful, isn't it?
Yeah, like it is generally joyful, and I think it gives you faith in humanity a bit that there are good people out, and particularly this one episode. I think it's in season 6, episode 8, and it's the family makeover episode
where they get the makeover episode.
They like bring either like a parent or a sister or just like their partner or whatever, and they, as part of the challenge for that week, have to give them like a drag makeover.
Fun.
One of the queens, Lavoie, who in my opinion should have won, I think she was dropped, brings her dad on, who is like in his 70s or something, and then they, as part of the kind of process, they interview them about, you know, when you came out, you know, did your family accept you? It was so nice to hear that so many of them were like, yeah, my mum and dad were like completely accepting of me when I came out. And especially Lavoie's dad, because he is of that generation, slightly older, whereby, you know, not to generalize, but like it may have been slightly harder for that age group compared to some of the younger queens. And his dad sort of comes on, you know, in his full drag and talks to the judges and just says, I hope that I can set an example for parents, you know, of any age, that, you know, you should love your children irrespective of their like sexual orientation, gender, or whatever. And I was just like, that is so lovely. It's a good app if you want to.
Yeah. The makeovers in general kind of just showing that, like, you know, these lines on like gender are so like unimportant and like it's like, you know, it doesn't matter, like it doesn't take away from your masculinity if you do like drag, it doesn't take away from your femininity if you. I cry at this episode every year, I'm not gonna lie,
because it is kind of like silly and fun and, you know, I don't know, a bit frivolous sometimes. But then I think the crux of it is like it's about acceptance and
human connection.
And it's just so lovely.
Yeah.
It's just a kind of lovely celebration of people and their authentic selves and
very entertaining.
And very entertaining. You're right. Yeah. Right, moving on to Mustn't Miss. Vanessa, what have you got from SheerLuxe?
Well, mine's actually from SL.Man, but I feel like it's just as much content for the SheerLuxe girlies.
Okay.
So it's running Tuesday, which means a few days ago when this goes live. It's the best dressed men of the year.
Ooh.
And it ran last year. And I just really enjoy it. I've actually just gone through the layout earlier before this. And it's looking good.
And who's on there?
We've got the usuals, like we've got Jacob Elordi on there, we've got Paul Mescal on there, we've got Pedro Pascal on there, Skepta's on there.
Who's your pick of the list?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I love Pedro Pascal. I feel like he's like, I don't know why, because it's his way and then the way he dresses and it all as a whole package. I feel like he wins the game. Like, you know, how could you not love him?
Bella Freud on her Fashion Neurosis podcast always asks the question, if someone is poorly dressed, like a man is badly dressed, does it put you off them? And I always think it's such an interesting question.
Well, I have to say, like when I'm on the dating apps, I do look out for it quite a bit. But what we always say, like, you know, that's something you can fix. Like it's like, but I when I see a man in skinny jeans, I'm like, I can't do it. I just can't. It's too much.
I think it really depends on like the kind of level of poorly dressed. I think for me personally, if he's just like not into fashion, I don't mind.
Yeah, that's different.
But it's but it's when they're kind of like they have tried to dress well, but it's just like the skinny jeans and loafers with no socks thing. That would put me off.
Yeah, like putting on skinny jeans, that's a choice. Like wearing like trackies, that isn't.
I'd say my partner isn't into fashion at all. But
I don't agree with that.
Like he can dress well. Do you know what I mean? Like if he puts clothes on, he looks great in them when he tries. But like generally speaking, like fashion is not something that really he like really thinks about too much. But I actually really like that about him because he's just interested in other things and like doesn't really concern him. And I like that he's not too.
Do you find that considered. Like when you two are together, it makes you care less about what you're wearing, or you kind of like
kind of? I mean, I think I still like I take pleasure from wearing nice clothes. I don't always feel like I have to be dressed up, but I think he still is like, you know, he respects that I like nice clothes and he appreciates what if I look nice and whatever. And if he wants to make an effort, he can like dress up and look lovely. But day to day, I don't know, he just likes to wear an old t-shirt from like Antigua that he's got from like, I don't know, 5 years ago or something, and some jeans, whatever. But he has more recently got into wearing some clothes from October editions, which I think is a really nice. It's Cezanne's
really
brother brand, would you call it that? And I think it's a really nice kind of mid-price, and also it's not too edgy, but it's just nice, like nice stylish clothes for men who are like, I don't want to look nice.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah,
there's a middle ground. Yeah, there is like, I mean, the men that are on that list are like very out there. You know what I mean? They like some of them dress like very cool. I don't know if I could do that as like in a relationship, but like I do think like, I don't know, I just immediately am like more attracted to a man that knows how to dress himself to make it, because you could be so attractive if you wear a horrible outfit. It's still like, ooh, I don't know.
Like that's why I think in
does that make me shallow?
No.
I think when you go to Paris, like the men there are just so well dressed, and the old men, and it's not about like anything crazy or out there a trend. I think it's just, I don't know, it's the way they've put together an outfit, or like a, you know, a well cut blazer or great the fabric on a coat or like a good pair of shoes. You can't underestimate a good pair of shoes, and that doesn't mean smart shoes. Like I think you can wear a good pair of trainers and you know some slacks and a coat and still look hot.
It's that effortless, like it looks like they haven't tried, but they just kind of look like
cool.
I think
one of my favorite Christmas films is Miracle on 34th Street, and I always remember thinking that Brian, the love interest, had such great style.
He does,
of that era. Like there's a good cable net. He wears a really good overcoat,
a little scarf or something.
And the scarf, and some, you know, some good ties. And I remember thinking, well dressed man.
Lou, who do you think is like currently a best dressed male celebrity?
One of my favourites, not for this year, just I feel like every year he always smashes it. Always want to see what he's wearing at like any sort of event, is Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, completely
Legend.
agree.
He's just so cool.
so cool.
He's got his own personal style.
Yeah.
He brings so much energy to his looks. Like, it's not like my personal aesthetic, but I just rate it so much. Like, he's so sexy. And just
this is what I mean. If they
Yeah.
like, you know, there is a way, like knowing what's like your vibe and then kind of rolling
Committing
with
to it.
that.
yeah,
That's
it's
what
that
makes
confidence,
it sexy.
I think.
Yeah.
That, you know, rocking
Yeah.
that. I also love, I think like Paul Mescal
Yeah.
always looks amazing. I think he wore like a pink and daughter cardigan recently, which looked so cool on him. I think he's got a really unique personal style as well.
He's selling some of his stuff.
Yes, he is on Vinted.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah. I was kind of, although like I feel like the girlies will be like going crazy.
Oh
you
my
know,
god,
it's like-
yeah. But that sounds like
I
a
mean,
week.
he's very hot.
The
Yeah.
little micro shorts he wore this year has been like that was like a fashion moment of
They
the
were,
year, I'd
they
say.
were.
That, like the little shorts and the like loafers and socks.
Yeah.
It even made it into SNL when he was hosting
Yeah.
SNL. They were making jokes. About
Yeah.
I know.
I also
Micro
feel like,
shorts.
obviously, the barn jackets have been around forever, but I feel like Jacob Elordi and Austin Butler put that Carhartt barn jacket even further out into the stratosphere than before.
Yeah.
They always look great.
So
Austin
Jacob-
Butler also on the list.
Who?
Yeah,
Austin, yeah.
yeah. Is Jacob Elordi the one who has been quite well known for him like carrying nice handbags?
Yeah, and also he carries,
carries
a
a book.
book in his back pocket, and
Yeah.
I don't know why, but that's so sexy.
Yeah.
That
Isn't
is like
it?
it's like, oh, I read and I read these
Yeah.
like little like
It's
you know
a bit
they're like
it's a bit affected, isn't it? But
Yeah.
it's also quite hot.
basically the list is just a bunch of really
Really
sexy
hot
men in
men.
really sexy outfits. And
Okay,
you're just
great.
kinda-
Well, for the ladies, check it out if you like to look at hot men, and for the lads, you know, subscribe to SL.Man if you're not
Yeah.
already.
Yeah, and also just to get some good inspo.
Good
Yeah.
inspo. I honestly think it is not that hard to dress well as a man, but so many men get it wrong. So check it out. Well, I've got some foodie recommendations. It's an article that I liked with some foodie recommendations on. It is 9 chefs sharing their favorite winter recipes. So a variety of chefs from Bubbler. That one stuck out at me actually because it's a vegetarian restaurant and it's probably the only vegetarian restaurant I've been to where I haven't missed meat. They each share a kind of recipe that they make during the winter time, and they're all very like hearty, filling, very like, I don't know, you don't want a salad at this time of year, do you?
I think it's
Like,
easier
pasta and
actually
stuff.
to be veggie in winter because
Agreed.
there's a lot of like stews and beans and pulses
Yeah.
and yumminess.
Yeah. And I initially saw it because my friend B had sent me a message saying, my boyfriend's just been featured on SheerLuxe. And it was Elliot Day, who's from Feel Goods, at the very bottom of the article, had shared this really gorgeous sort of king prawn potatoes and I think red peppers recipe. And I was like, does he cook for you like this? Because that is so cool. If your boyfriend could just whip this up.
Yeah,
like,
that's
it's such a
sexy.
yeah, super sexy.
There we go. Another quality chef boyfriend.
Yeah.
Chef
would be
boyfriend that dressed as well.
So nice. Yeah.
Although I do
I'm
hear
very
that
jealous.
chef boyfriends don't spend a huge amount of time at home.
Interesting.
I guess they have to work evenings.
And a
Yeah.
lot of
Like,
I spoke to one once when I did a cooking class, and I was like, oh, so do you cook for your partner at home? And he's like, no, last thing I want to do because you do it all day
oh yeah.
at work. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, shame. So maybe just one that's just an adept cook,
Yeah.
sort of for fun. Does
Yeah.
Lewis cook?
He loves cooking.
Does he?
He's very into the prep. So if there's a meal that involves a lot of chopping, very into it.
Oh, we were talking about this the other day, how we like find it really sexy when a guy can chop really
Yes,
well.
he can chop the onion.
It is
like,
hot.
It is
It's so
so
hot.
Like, honestly, when I cut an onion, like it might as well not have been cut. Like the pieces are so big. He manages to do it with such
Does he
like
do,
they're
like,
so
the-
tiny. And he like folds his hands over and then he
Oh,
does
yeah,
and then
that's
like
protect your
but he
nails.
does that annoying thing where I'll be like, babe, I don't understand how you do it. And he's like, what do you mean?
He just wants to keep that for himself,
Yeah.
doesn't he?
And he's very good at chopping the old onions.
Mm.
So yeah, anything that involves like a sofrito base, very into. But yeah, won't like something where it's a kind of throw a couple of things in the pan and then like that's it. He likes to like
He lives
likes
for the
it.
prep.
he's quite OCD in that, you know, he likes a massive chopping board.
Right.
And like I remember once he went shopping and came back with this massive Liberty bag and I was like, oh my God, that is so fun. What have you bought? Thinking like clearly this is like an amazing jacket or a coat. He's like, you don't understand. I'm so excited about this purchase. And he bought like a meter long chopping board.
Where do you even keep that?
I know, it's massive. I don't know how to wash it up. It's so big. Anyway,
it's not going in the dishwasher.
But
is
he'll kind of prepare all the sections, and then there's like carrots in this side of he does all the chopping before he then does the cooking.
Okay.
Whereas I'm quite like,
just chuck it in.
No, but I do the same. I prep everything, and then I start the cooking process.
Okay, I did some Hasselback potatoes the other day, and like the process of Hasselbacking the potatoes, I was just so bored by the end.
Yeah, you've got to go so thin.
You've got to go so thin, and there's so many bloody potatoes.
Oh my God, I actually saw a recipe the other day where you use one of those like really fine potatoes slicey things.
Oh yeah.
Do that, and then you put them in like a muffin tin, and you layer them on top of each other. And I think you put like oil and butter and herbs and stuff around them, and then you put them in the oven, and they come out like this kind of crispy. Like they look so good.
So Lou and I have this thing where like we both like chickpeas, and every now and again,
rock and roll,
rock on. We know how to have fun. We send each other chickpea recipes.
Yeah.
Exclusively chickpea
well,
recipes.
It's just.
Do you know? I actually said to Charlotte that Polly and I have been sending them, and she was like, "I like a chickpea. Send them to me too." Yeah. But I sent you a really good one the other day.
A really good one, yeah. And it was very easy.
Very easy, like minimal ingredients. It sounds so boring, but you've got to try it. And you tried it.
If I get this wrong, remind me. It was so chickpeas, obviously. Garlic.
Can we just preface to when we say chickpeas, the only chickpea that you need to be buying are the bold bean giant chickpeas.
Well, look, so I didn't have the bold bean ones because I had like 2 cans of chickpeas, like normal ones. It slapped this recipe, but I probably could have banged even harder if I had those.
Pete, it'll be
ones.
Off the charts.
Off the charts.
When you get some
Once
bold
again,
beans.
we know how to have fun.
I love the excitement. I like it. It's like it's a personalized,
thing.
Like.
But that recipe, right, so it had like kind of mashed up broccoli a little bit.
So yeah, you like saute off a bit of garlic, and then you boil some broccoli and your pasta, and you want the broccoli to go like quite mushy. And then when that's then cooked, you mush that into the garlic. I think a bit of chili as well. So you get this kind of garlicky, pasty, broccoli chilliness. And then you cook your pasta, you add the pasta, like whip it all through, and it kind of makes this like sticky sauce to it.
Just a little bit of pesto.
Bit of pesto.
But I think maybe if I'd had the bold beans, chickpeas, maybe I wouldn't have needed to.
Yeah, and also all the bold beans come in like a kind of salty water.
Yeah.
So you add all of that to it, and that's kind of like an extra bit of stock.
Love
So
that.
sorry, what was your favourite on that list, P?
Oh, I think it was, Sophie Wybird for me. I just like love her recipes. It was a kind of like meatball spaghetti concoction, and she referenced the Nisa and Nunhead Green as to where she gets her ingredients from, which like got me here because I used to live in Nunhead before I moved out of London, and I was like, I used to go to that Nisa. It was great. So, but there's so many.
The Nisa. I thought you said like Vanessa. I was like, what's Vanessa? Like
Nisa, as in
local?
like the corner shop kind of place. Yeah, I have a Sophie Wybird cookbook at home, and I just love it. It's very like hearty meals again. Lots of sharing things. I just think her recipes are lush. Very good. Let's move on to hot topics. Vanessa, have you seen anything that you want to discuss?
Do you remember when we all watched Wicked, and that was a big thing? And the trailers before Wicked, one of the trailers was, and I think that was the first time that trailer came up, the new Robbie Williams movie that's coming out. And everyone was kind of like, I say kind of, everyone was very confused about the fact that he's portrayed as an ape or a monkey. And
what?
Yeah. Have you not seen? Wait, have you not seen this?
No.
So you picture this. You sit in the cinema. The trailer starts. You know it's a Robbie Williams because there's a reference. And you can't see him yet. And then he turns around, and he's just a monkey.
He's like a talking monkey. But
he's a talking monkey. Stuff. But it's his biopic. Like it's about his life and how he grew up and the whole take that thing and like, but like he's a monkey. But everyone else is real people.
It's confusing.
Exactly. That's
I think
the reaction.
When I saw the trailer, when I watched Wicked as well, for the first bit of the trailer, we were like, this is weird.
Yeah.
But then it becomes apparent towards the end that it's about Robbie Williams. And then we were like, oh, I'd watch that because I really like Robbie Williams.
See, I was kind of like, I don't want
But why is he like a monkey?
Exactly.
Well,
so that sparked a lot of conversation. Everyone was like, but why is he a monkey? But there was like no explanation, like whatsoever for a while.
Well, so I think I saw on the poster, the sort of strapline was, fame makes a monkey out of all of us. I think it's a kind of like riff on that. So
But
I don't know. He's a kind of wacky guy, isn't
Yeah,
Robbie
he is.
Williams.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really surprise me that he's chosen to be portrayed as a monkey in that film.
Yeah.
Will you be going to
But-
see it, do you think?
I think so because because I actually quite like Robbie Williams, and he did an interview. It came out on BBC I think last night or this morning, I don't know, where he kind of explained a bit more about why he's a monkey in it, and also what surprised me for some reason, I don't know why, because in no other of the biopics that happens, for some reason I thought he was gonna like portray himself, so he was gonna do like, but it's someone else's voice, and someone else acted it, so it's like a half CGI, so it's like with what they did with Gollum in Lord of the Rings, where it's like a person acting and then they like add everything on top. But they took the eyes, they scanned Robbie Williams's eyes, and if you look at the monkey, it's Robbie Williams's eyes in there. So it is kind of him, but not really. But yeah, once I read like, a bit more of the reasoning about why it's a monkey, because basically the director was like, oh, so many of these things have been done, how can we make them
that was what I was going to say.
It's definitely got people talking about it, hasn't it, in a way that perhaps if it was just about his life, maybe people would be less kind of like fussed about it.
How big is he? Because in Germany he was quite big.
He was massive over here
at a point, wasn't he? And I will say that some of his solo music was amazing back in the day. And I think I'd like to go and see it. I want to discuss Matthieu Blazy.
Ooh, exciting.
Going to Chanel. It's extremely exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, big change of hands. Like, that's mega that he's going there. I had heard rumours that it was going to be the Olsen twins.
Oh, that would have been very random.
Yeah, they have backed the rope financially. So there was rumours spreading that Mary-Kate and Ashley were going to take over as co-director. I am fascinated to see what he will do, because I feel like that is, of all of the hands that have been at Chanel, like that's such a departure.
Very different.
Very
different.
different.
But very interesting, because I feel like that's what it needs, like a little bit of something. I don't know.
I kind of feel like Chanel is Chanel, and it is one of the houses that kind of, obviously it has its heritage, it has its look, and obviously I think that the best designers are the ones that stay like true to their core. When there's a new creative director that comes in, they breathe some fresh life into it, but still have to maintain who they are. So I'm intrigued to see what he does.
Matthieu Blazy is coming from Bottega Veneta, which at the moment is, I'd say, one of the most coveted fashion brands in the world. He took over from Daniel Lee, obviously, who I think was kind of largely responsible for its like resurgence. And I think I read an article in The Guardian about it, and how, Chanel is a bit more kind of, it's secretive, it's a bit more understated, and they could have gone for a really big, well-known name. Not that Matthieu Blazy is not well-known, but, Hedi Slimane or someone a bit more kind of like, high profile, but their choice to go for someone a little less well-known. But
do you think he's well-known? He's not. I feel like they've taken a big name. Like, I actually feel like they could have taken a more under the radar name that more lets the kind of the house be the name.
But I think,
whereas I think he is more the name now.
Really interesting, because I think what this article was saying was that their choice by taking him was actually letting the name Chanel sort of shine more than him specifically. I think maybe within the industry he's well known, but I guess for most people who perhaps aren't as into fashion, they might not know that name. I'm interested to see how it, I mean, I don't want to diss, but like it hasn't really like excited me as much in recent years. And I don't know whether, I don't think it's lost its way, because I've checked and its sales year and year are still going up.
It's
so it's still thriving.
Nice, but it's not like,
but I think it'll be, I don't know, interesting to see how he shakes up a little bit, or maybe.
It'll be fascinating to see. I can't wait to see. And Louise Trotter has stepped into Bottega in his bit. I read that one first and I was like, oh, wow, she's gone there.
What do you think about that?
So Louise Trotter was originally at Joseph, then went to Carven, and now stepping into Bottega. And that's big shoes to fill.
I was going to say, that's a big step up as well.
Like, what Daniel Lee and Matteo have done have really put it on the map and been like that, number one brand for seasons. So interested to see what she will do at the helm.
I love when there's a new creative director.
There's a lot of changing hands recently.
Yeah,
it makes the first shows more exciting, you know? Like, it's like, oh my God, it's going to be something different.
Yeah.
What is it going to be?
Bit of fashion musical chairs, isn't it? Moving around. Before we move on to some juicy dilemmas, just a quick reminder to please subscribe to SheerLuxe podcast to get weekly updates and subscribe to our newsletter, which we put out every day. Plenty of inspo and gorgeous things to be read and consumed on there. All right, let's get on to some dilemmas. The first one. Earlier this year, I walked in on a large group of my girlfriends, including my sister-in-law, completely laying into my profession and its workers. I walked out very quickly. I'm not sure if they know I heard and they haven't brought it up since. I was truly gutted and it still really upsets me. I'm so passionate about my field and all of us in it work so hard for those we look after. What hurts perhaps most is that before and since this moment, many of them have been coming up to me for specialist advice. Do I call them out as a group next time I see them?
100%.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
100%.
I feel like sometimes people say harsher things when they think you're not there than they actually mean, just because they get like riled up. I don't know how to, but like, I do agree. I think it needs to be.
I'd love to know
brought
what
up.
the profession
Yeah,
was,
same.
because it's interesting that they were laying into it, but then some of them coming to her for some specialist advice.
In the moment, people will say some stuff like that they might not actually mean long term.
Yeah,
so
it
it's
could
quite
be
hard.
that there's like someone who's like led a conversation that maybe people think it's easy to side with. But I would maybe take one of them aside, maybe one who you feel closest to, and just say, look, this has been on my mind. I overheard you guys saying this. It really hurt my feelings. I thought you were really supportive.
Yeah.
I just would like to like discuss it with you in private, and maybe not like to a big whole group. Maybe that's
I think
not
a big
as nice.
group, it's easy for that to kind of escalate. But yeah, one-on-one. I would also ask first for them to just, maybe say like what actually happened there, because it might be that you've got the wrong end of the stick and you missed a part of the conversation. But maybe just ask, and then if it turns out actually they haven't been that bad, then you don't look like you've kind of jumped the gun too much. But yeah, that is it's tricky.
Yeah,
but you can't not do anything about it, because I mean, this would eat me up for like long term. Like
totally.
then you start constantly, whenever someone leaves the room, you'll start thinking, oh my God, what if they? I think it needs to be cleared, and I love the idea of being like, so how did this come about? I think that's really good, because sometimes it might have come from a certain situation, or maybe there was an argument beforehand that led to someone being annoyed and then digging into something. And and did everyone really like agree, or was it just a couple people, but it felt like everyone was like in it, because in a moment you know the adrenaline comes up, you hear what they're saying, and suddenly you're like, everyone was saying it. But I think it's good to like step back, speak to one of them, and see what actually happened. And then I mean, they might be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, this was really wrong to do.
Next one. I'm booking a holiday with a group of friends and we're struggling to find a date. One friend in particular can't do a lot of the suggested dates and isn't being flexible with others. How do you tell them they're being difficult without hurting their feelings?
I think you kind of have to go majority with things like that. Like if there's a group and you've all got date options and there's one person who can't make all of them, like
it's like nearly impossible to find dates that work for him. And I think maybe someone needs to take the reins and be like, okay, we're going to do a poll on the WhatsApp, and like we're just going to go for
majority.
I love a poll.
You do a poll, and this is how you don't even have to directly speak to him. If you just say, here's the poll, these are the options days,
we'll go with the majority.
Yeah, exactly. And that way,
yeah,
c'est la vie.
Can I add a dilemma into the mix that we were talking about on the fashion desk earlier? If you had a body, would you wear pants underneath it?
Oh, like a bodysuit?
Yes.
No.
Interesting.
I would wear a thong, maybe. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would absolutely wear pants.
Would you?
Yeah.
But it's like wearing a swimsuit with knickers.
Oh no, but it's not a swimsuit.
But yeah, it depends on the material, I guess.
Like,
does it have buttons on the bottom as well? Because I feel like
I didn't check it, but it's a thong bodysuit.
Yeah.
And some members of the desk were saying they would not wear pants.
Oh, with a thong.
This is like very interesting dilemma. I have to say,
bodysuit, isn't it really?
To me, because a bodysuit isn't underwear, unless it was like a lingerie bodysuit.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like I don't see it as underwear, so I want to wear my pants underneath.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just see that as like it's a top, but like a tucky-inny top.
Okay.
And so it's not underwear. Like that, they're just two different things. Oh my God, actually, when I was looking for underwear for the Fashion Awards, I went to Selfridges and there was a Skims bodysuit with like the little shorts, and it didn't have like poppers or anything. It just had this funny like flappy thing.
No.
Stop.
Yeah.
So if you need to go for a wee,
you just pulled the flap.
I kind of rate that though,
but it was
because imagine getting that whole thing off.
But it was tiny. Like I feel like.
But are we sure that
mistakes
was
are
like,
happening?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Always
Is
go
that
in a straight line, does it?
Oh, you think of it as something else?
I don't think that's for peeing, right?
Oh,
I don't
what?
know.
What?
Sorry, but like there's like there's like
No, but it's not like sexy underwear.
Like,
but, like
It's
why
not
is
like
it a
a come get
small-
me teddy.
it's like Bridget Jones underwear.
It's like, yeah.
But
like-
like
you think that's like for sexy access?
I don't know, but like
I mean,
you
could
can't
be.
pee through that.
Yeah, you
So
sure
what
It
else?
felt
can.
tiny to pee in through.
Wait, like how big are we talking?
Like just, it wasn't even like, just kind of like a
The triangle
like a
shape.
one side kind of thing.
Oh, so you'd have to like pull it apart to have
Yeah,
a pee.
yeah. And really get your angles right.
Yeah.
And position it in the right place.
Maybe you need a little
I would just
chewy.
take it off. I think.
Yeah, I would
wouldn't
take it
use
off.
I hate that though in the toilet when you have to take the whole bodysuit off and,
And
you're
your
literally
top
there
half
naked.
is so
'Cause you just think
cold.
like,
Yeah.
what if someone bursts in?
Yeah.
You'd be very vulnerable.
Very
Yeah.
vulnerable.
That's why I don't
Very-
like bodysuits. It's just too much.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so you are both no panties.
No,
No,
Vanessa said she is
I,
You are
panties.
I'm
panties.
panty,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, I'm a no pants girl. What to wear with a sheer sequin skirt?
I would wear a big pair of pants, high rise, big panty. Why are you smiling?
I'll tell you in a minute.
Okay. And a big, chunky, fluffy knit.
Yeah,
And some like, I like a little ankle sock and a kitten heel.
I laughed just now because I did wear a sheer skirt to an event a couple of weeks ago, and I wore a bodysuit underneath. It's very topical.
With pants.
No.
Oh!
And that was the problem.
Oh.
So like I was in Milan and the outfit was there for me when I arrived. So I hadn't had the chance to try it on. And they were like, oh, the bodysuit's quite small. And I was like, is it? And I did wear a jumper like so that it covered my bottom, but like the front bit, like when the jumper was just like the wrong length for it to like lay out of like a belt or tucked in or whatever. So I just had to roll with it being like quite high cut
Okay.
black bodysuit. And I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to roll with it. But it's caused a bit of a furore on Instagram.
Oh, really? Why?
Yeah, well, it is quite like revealing, I would say. And in hindsight, maybe I should have worn some bigger pants.
Okay.
But if you can't get your bits out at Christmas, then when the hell can you?
Exactly. No,
And,
that's how you can end it. That's what we can end.
I mean, I wouldn't be wearing it to like someone made the point that if they wore that to their Christmas party, then they'd have HR knocking at their door, kind of thing.
Okay.
So I was like, yeah, maybe not one for.
Yeah, but-
Yeah, but like sometimes you read the room.
You
like
read
you
the
wore
room.
you wore it to a fashion event.
Yeah, thank you.
And you've got a banging bod and you
People
can
have-
wear what you want to
People
wear.
have worn way less.
Anyway, I think that's all we have time for today. Thanks for all of those dilemmas. We love hearing and discussing all those dilemmas, but we are not experts. So please reach out to a professional if you do need to talk to someone. All right. I think that wraps up today's episode. Thank you so much for joining us, Lou and Vanessa. Don't forget to subscribe and spread the word to your friends. Wishing you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Here's the
Christmas.
2025.
Yeah, it's
Yay.
2025. We'll see you in the new year. Thanks and goodbye.